Advisory. Some episodes of the 1836 podcast are not intended for all audiences, due to details that might be considered disturbing. Listener and viewer discretion is advised.
On this episode of the 1836 podcast, we profile Medal of Honor recipient Charles Leon Gilliland. Charles Leon Gilliland was born on May 24, 1933, in Colfax, Arkansas, during the peak of the Great Depression. As the second of 9 children in a hard-working family, he was raised by his father, Leon Carl Gilliland, a farmer and construction worker, and his mother, Evangeline Marguerite Martin Gilliland, a nurse's aide. The family relocated to Yellville in Marion County when Charles was a young teenager. From an early age, he demonstrated a strong interest in military service, collecting military memorabilia, wearing surplus fatigues, and building his strength by lifting homemade weights made from rocks and anvils, often carrying his younger siblings for added resistance. A country boy who enjoyed hunting and fishing, Charles attempted to enlist in the United States Marine Corps at 16, but was advised to complete his education first. Undeterred, he persuaded his parents to allow him to join the United States Army on his 17th birthday, May 24, 1950, just 2 months before the Korean War began. After completing basic training at Fort Riley, Kansas, Gilliland returned to Yellville briefly before deploying to Korea in October. There, he served in Company I, 7th Infantry Regiment, 3rd Infantry Division. In letters to his family, he described harrowing experiences, including carrying a fellow soldier who had lost both legs in combat. On April 25, 1951, near Tongmangni, Korea, Gilliland's company faced a fierce enemy assault. Positioned with his automatic rifle, he successfully held off a much larger and superior Chinese force. When his assistant was struck down by enemy fire, Gilliland, undeterred by the intensity of the assault, unleashed a relentless barrage of machine gun fire at the attackers, slowing their advance. During the assault, 2 enemy soldiers infiltrated his position. Gilliland jumped from his foxhole and swiftly killed them both with his pistol. Despite sustaining a severe head wound during this courageous act, he declined medical assistance and returned to his post to continue defending the area and protect his fellow soldiers. When his unit was ordered to relocate to new defensive positions, Gilliland volunteered to stay behind to cover the withdrawal, allowing his fellow soldiers to transition safely. He was last seen confronting the enemy before being overwhelmed in a hail of gunfire. Gilliland valiantly held off the attackers while his fellow soldiers maneuvered. The sounds of his weapon firing echoed until it gradually fell silent. Later declared missing in action, Gilliland was posthumously promoted to corporal. In 1952, he was recommended for the Medal of Honor. The Army, concerned that he may have been captured by Chinese forces, delayed the announcement to avoid any repercussions if his captors learned of his heroic actions. By 1954, with the war concluded and no sign of him, Gilliland was officially declared dead. In December of that year, the Army awarded him the Medal of Honor in a ceremony at the Pentagon, attended by his family, making him the youngest recipient of this prestigious award from the Korean War. His Medal of Honor citation reads, "Corporal Gilliland, a member of Company I, distinguished himself by conspicuous gallantry and outstanding courage above and beyond the call of duty in action against the enemy. A numerically superior hostile force launched a coordinated assault against his company perimeter, the brunt of which was directed up a defile covered by his automatic rifle. His assistant was killed by enemy fire, but Corporal Gilliland, facing the full force of the assault, poured a steady fire into the foe, which stemmed the onslaught. When 2 enemy soldiers escaped his raking fire and infiltrated the sector, he leaped from his foxhole, overtook, and killed them both with his pistol. Sustaining a serious head wound in this daring exploit, he refused medical attention and returned to his emplacement to continue his defense of the defile. His unit was ordered back to new defensive positions. But Corporal Gilliland volunteered to remain to cover the withdrawal and hold the enemy at bay. His heroic actions and indomitable devotion to duty prevented the enemy from completely overrunning his company positions. Corporal Gilliland's incredible valor and supreme sacrifice reflect lasting glory upon himself and are in keeping with the honored traditions of the military service. In addition to the Medal of Honor, Gilliland received numerous accolades, including the Good Conduct Medal, the Purple Heart, the Army of Occupation Medal, the Korean Service Medal with 3 campaign stars, the Presidential Unit Citation, the Combat Infantry Badge, and the United Nations Service Medal. In Arkansas, Gilliland's heroism is commemorated through the Honor Wall, an exhibit that celebrates Medal of Honor recipients from the state. This wall honors their bravery and sacrifice, ensuring that their stories continue to inspire future generations. On May 24, 1997, on what would have been his 64th birthday, the United States Navy honored his memory by christening a transport ship, the USNS Gilliland. At just 17 years old, Corporal Charles Leon Gilliland made the ultimate sacrifice to save the lives of many American soldiers, earning him the prestigious Medal of Honor. He remains the youngest recipient of this award from the Korean War.